Good afternoon, students. Today I'm going to explain about the concept training and development. Today in this session I'm explaining about what is training and development, what are the objectives of training, what is training need assessment, and what is how designing and administrating of a training program will done, and what are executive development training programs, and how we are going to evaluate the training. So in the previous class, we have discussed about the selection. Now through selection, we came to know that we understood that through selection, through different screening out tests, we selected different candidates or a group of candidates in order to hold the positions in our organization. The various positions have various tasks to perform and a specific task to perform. In order to perform those tasks, the employees need some training. The employees need some knowledge and skills. So training is of most important and it assumes greater importance in the organization so that the employees can learn and they can perform the various responsibilities assigned to them. Hence, we can say that the major outcome of any training program is learning. So, we are learning something from this training program. Now, coming to the next slide, I will explain the next slide. What is here? What is training? Now, coming to the training, in simple words, it can be defined as equipping employees with required knowledge and skills for the job. So equipping employees means assigning employees, making them to learn, making them to acquire the specific knowledge and skills for doing a job. And next slide is training means a process whereby people acquire capabilities to aid them. People acquire capabilities to aid in the achievement of organizational goals. It is a process whereby people acquire capabilities. Capabilities in the sense the competencies, the required knowledge in order to achieve the organization. Every organization has a certain set of goals and objectives. To achieve those set of goals and objectives, we need some knowledge and skills. And these skills and knowledge will be acquired and these capabilities will be learned through training. And training tries to improve a specific skill related to the job. That means, for example, a person have to perform through a machinery or an operation in the assembly line. He should know how to perform that particular task, how to perform that particular activity. For that reason also we should have the training. And coming to the importance of training, what is the significance of training? The first point focuses on it controls the attrition rate. Attrition rate in the sense, suppose turnover of the employees. Suppose because of lack of knowledge or the skills, if employees continuously getting failure in performing a task, so he will be removed either by the management or else he will be in the frustration mood and he will resign to the job. That we can reduce. If you provide proper knowledge and training to the employee, he will be success in the organization. It is a boost for his morale. Next, it motivates people to stay on, acquire new skill and remain continually useful to the organization. See, if organization has identified your skill gap, it identifies your deficiencies and the organization is trying to improve your skills and organization is continuously improving your knowledge. So what a kind of motivation is there in you? So yes, today I learned something. I have acquired some new knowledge or I have acquired something new today. So I should be useful to my organization. It should be useful in my organizational productivity. That kind of thought will be there in your mind. So this is the second significant point among the training. And third point is it helps in increasing the job knowledge and skill of employee at each level. See, for example, while you joined in the organization, you are just an executive. Later you became an assistant management manager. Later you become a manager. So at each and every stage or at each and every level of your hierarchy, you need more responsibility. You need more knowledge. So at every level, at each level, you are acquiring something new. So which increases your job knowledge. So through training, you are getting new job knowledge also, which can be useful if for further. Why training? It is also called as the aim of training, the objective of training. Nowadays, the environment or the business environment is getting dynamic. Getting dynamic in the sense we are our markets are open, our economy is open. We are entering, everybody is entering into the market. So it's a free entry and exit is there. Anybody can come and anybody can go. Even you also can go to the foreign countries. You can expand your business or you can expand your organizations wherever you want. That is, entire the globe, you can spread your business or your wings. So because of a changing dynamic dynamic environment, because of changing business environment, economic, political, legal and social changing conditions, you must be dynamic, you must be sustainable. So in order to face those challenges, you have to learn new things. See, for example, COVID-19 itself. Now itself, there is no drug, there is no kind of vaccine for this. Now what the virology labs and what are the other medical tests are going on in order to identify vaccines. So this is a dynamic, something dynamic with something challenge occurred into the nation, and how to face that challenge, how to overcome that challenge is nothing but the dynamic. Next one is technological advances. Technology is changing day by day. More technological advances are there. Like for example, cloud computing, online, like a cloud computing is there, the big data is there, artificial intelligence, robotics. All these are the new technological dimensions. In order to learn, in order to allow them, in order to adapt them, you need some training. So training is needed for these 2 points. Now, what are the advantages of training? So, obviously, in the previous class itself, in the previous slide itself, I have explained what are the advantages. Once again, I'll focus. It increases productivity. Obviously, once you have the knowledge, once you have the skill, and you minimizes like losses. You reduces the loss, or you reduces the wastages. So hence, when you reduce the waste, when you reduce the loss, the productivity will be increased with minimum hours of time, with minimum materials. You are going to produce more and more because you have been skilled there, and reduced accidents. In the sense, you are very much knowledgeable person in doing or in operating missions, accidents will be of very less. And supervision need not necessary of supervision, because you have the competency of handling the situations, and morale will be boosted because you are well versed with that particular task. You are a skilled person, so you are a motivated person. So obviously your morale, your zeal, your enthusiasm will be increased. And next one is training and development process. The next slide explains what is the process of training and development, how the training and development will be designed by the organizations. Now it is a series of 5 steps. In the first step, we have to determine what are the training and development needs. And the second one is the specific objectives of training and development. And the third one is methods of training and development. Fourth one, implementing training and development programs. And the last one is evaluation training and development programs. This is an important question for you. Now each and every, even not only one single essay question, each and every sub point will also be asked as a short question for you. Now coming to the next one, the first point in the slide, that is identifying training needs. What is the training? What is the need? What is the need? Need is a self-deprivation. What is the need? What makes you to provide the training? Where the gap is there? Where the employees are having certain kind of gap, or some kind of less knowledge. You have to find those things now. Basic aim of training or basic objective of training is suitable change in the individual concerned. In suitable change in the individual concern means the individual employee, whatever the new things or whatever the dynamism or whatever the environmental conditions, whether the employee, whether the individual employee has the adaptability or not, whether he has a dynamic accepting the challenges, that you have to identify through training. And it should be related both in terms of organization demand and that of individual. Training should be given not only from the individual employee point of view, but from organizational point of view. That means once you provide training to the employee is benefited. At the same time, whatever the benefits the employee is going to derive is going to represent in the form of productivity, and which is beneficial to the organization. And next one is in order to identify the training methods or the needs, there are 3 methods are there. One is organizational analysis, another one is individual task analysis, and the third one is man analysis. In other words, we can say training needs can be assessed through these 3 analyses. One is organization analysis. What we do in the organization analysis means it is a comprehensive, it is a big analysis, studying of the organization in terms of objectives of the organization, whether the company, whether the organization is having only profit maximization or wealth maximization or societal or corporate social responsibility. What are the objectives? What are the resources? How many resources does the organization is possessing? And how these resources being utilized by the organization? And what is the culture of the organization? What is the nature of the organization? In what environment the organization is performing its duties, responsibilities? All these things, all these points has to be monitored while analyzing the organization. The second one is task analysis. So a study of task, the study of duties, responsibilities. That means in terms of job, in terms of operations, in terms of it is a detailed analysis of various components of a job. A job has different components. Let us take example of a salesman. A salesman job has different components. Like first of all, he should know what is a product, what are the uses of the product, how this product being manufactured, and later he has to know the consumer, the needs of the consumer, how the consumer will be attracted, in what way he has to convince. So all the various detailed components of a job towards a salesman. In the same way, a research and development wing. In the same way, a HR manager. These people should have a detailed components. And next one is the operations of a job. How to operate, how to administer a job, how to administer duty. These things comes under the task analysis. And the final one is man analysis. Man analysis is nothing but the individual analysis. It is also called as employee analysis. What we do here in the employee analysis, now we are focusing on the individual employee, his skills, his knowledge, his experience, his qualifications, his abilities, his attitude, all these things will be analyzed. So hence, once we analyze all these things, we came to understood that yes, this person possesses this kind of attitude. Now it is easy for him to learn the new things. Yes, this person is a challenging one. This person is a spontaneous one. This kind of information will derive from the man analysis. So these are the three methods. Through these three methods, we are identifying the training need of an employee and the training need for an organization. Now, the second slide, the second point in the slide is establishing training and development objectives. What is the aim of having a training? Why you are giving the training? Why you are discharging the training? So, first thing is for desired results. So, every organization will work for the productivity. Every organization will work for the profit. So, does the employees working towards the profit? Does the employees working towards the productivity and end the result? That is the first objective. The second one is clear and summarized objectives must be formulated. So any training need should have a proper objective. Earlier in the earlier slide itself, I have discussed about the aim of training for the dynamic business environment. In order to protect ourselves, in order to stay in the dynamic and the challenging business environment, training is needed. In order to face the competitors, training is needed. In order to face the technological advances, training is needed. So that kind of clear summary of objectives must be formulated by the company. And next one is designing of training and development program. So these programs vary from one company to another company, one organization to another, and at the same time from one department to another department and from one position to another position. However, a clear training program is who are the trainees. It is a sequence of 5 steps. First, in the first step, you need to assess who are the trainees, who are the trainers, what methods and techniques, what should be the level of training, what principles of learning, where to conduct the program. So the first is who are the trainees. Obviously, the trainees are the individual employees who were selected by you through selection process. Who are the trainers? The trainers may be the supervisors, the experienced people from within the organization or from outside the organization. Again, it depends upon the budget of the company. If the budget allows, they are going to hire the people, the specialized people, the specialists from the outside. And what methods and techniques that we'll get in the next slides. And what should be the level of training? See, this point I have already explained you. This training methodology or the training will vary from one position to another position, depending upon the responsibilities and the obligations the person has to discharge. So suppose a managing director will have a different type of training. A executive development program will be given to him. In the same way, supervisor, a blue collar worker will be given a different training, because he will always be with the machine in motion. So how to operate a machine, how to handle a machine, how to reduce accidents, that kind of training will be given to a person who was working at the as a blue collar. So the training level, the extent of training, the nature of training vary from one person to one position to another position. The next one is, what are the principles of learning? Why you are learning all these things? Ultimately, we have two objectives, that is end result. In the same way, sustainability. That means staying at the organization, facing the dynamic challenges, and where to conduct the program. What is there was a clear. Do you have a separate office, or do you have a separate blog to conduct the programs, or else you are conducting on the job? All these things will be decided here. And next one is implementation of training programs. How you have to implement? What is the process? What are the sequential order of implementing the training programs? Here there are a sequence of steps. One is deciding the location and organizing training and other facilities. See, for example, if any college is organizing a faculty development program, first of all the college will decide how many teachers or how many lecturers are going to participate in this training program. Where to conduct? Is there any seminar hall? Is any group discussion room? Is there? And what are the facilities we have to provide? See, for every 2 hours does any food facility or tea or coffee has to be supplemented, or water has to be given, or any other required material has to be supplemented? These things will have to be decided. We'll have to be think in advance before designing a training program. Next one is scheduling the training program. Yes, exactly. See, whether it is an entrepreneurship development training program, whether it is a placement development program, or whether it is a training program related to a job or a position, the schedule, what is the morning schedule, what is the afternoon schedule, what is the evening schedule, in between schedule, is there any games, is there any activities, a sequential order of doing what to do and what not to be done should be written on a paper. The next one is conducting, actually implementing the program, and next monitoring the progress of the trainees. So we have giving training. Suppose the training period is for 1 month. So for every 1 week, or else for every day, if feedback or a follow-up activity should be done. How far they learned? Is there any gap? Still people are required any kind of material or any kind of knowledge? These things you have to be identified once you implement the training program. Next one, need for evaluation. The last point in this designing and administrating a training program, that is evaluation, identifying the weaknesses, identifying the gaps. So here evaluation is giving birth, identifying things. Now to identify the program strengths and weaknesses, the first point is, what is the need for evaluation of a training and development program is there any weakness in the training program? Is there any weakness? See, for example, very arduous training will be done for the military people and for the Navy and for Air Force people. So even in those training programs also, is there any gap? Does the people needed more knowledge? Does the people need more supervision? That kind of strengths and weaknesses you have to identify through evaluation. And at the same time, you can also assess the content, the organization, administration of the program. What is the content? What is the material you are providing? What kind of knowledge you are giving to the candidate? Is the content is suitable for the present dynamic challenges or not? And what is the position where you have been placing the trainees? Is the position, is the organization is correct or not? Is it good or not? The facilities are good or not? Is it the hygiene or not? All these things you can assess in the evaluation. And the third point is whether trainees are being benefited through your program or not. Is this is very difficult or is it easy, or at least the training program is giving certain benefits, certain result or outcome to the employees or not? This you can assess. And the next one is, you can gather the data from the employees also, and you can determine the financial benefits and cost of the programs. Does the training program is very much costlier, or the training program is a moderate program? How much of cost you are incurring, and is this cost is going to be be benefit, is this cost is going to be written or not through employee performance. All these things will have to be assessed here. And next, comparing the cost and benefits. That's what I told you in the just slide, in this point. So we are investing money, we are spending money, we have certain expenditure. Does this expenditure, does this cost, does this investment will going to repercuss, will is going to regenerate us benefits or not? It is going to reproduce the profits or not? This have to be assessed through need and evaluation. And next slide is, we have another program, that is executive development program. What is an executive development program? Till now, what is a training program we have discussed. Now, what is executive development program, and how an executive development program training should be given to the executives. Executives, we know the people who are at the top hierarchy, the people who are at the top level management, these are called as executive, like a CEO, Chief Executive Officer, COO, Chief Operating Officers, and these people are at the supervisory level. These people are at the prominent level, key role positions they are going to handle. So what kind of training should be given to them? This we will discuss now. Executive development includes the process by which managers and executives acquire not only skill and competency in this present job, but also capabilities for future managerial tasks of increasing difficulty and scope. So executives, obviously they need not they have to handle their own positions. They have to monitor, they have to mentor the lower level people also. So they have more responsibilities on their shoulders. So here, whether the skills and knowledge they are possessing now, is it suitable to monitor the entire organization? At the same time, are they can be the successors for the future positions or not? This you have to assess through executive development. So an executive development is a planned and organized process of learning. It is an ongoing and never-ending exercise. See, for a lower level employee, a training period varies from 15 days or 1 month or 3 months or half yearly, like that. But an executive training program, an executive development program, is an ongoing exercise. Now, what are the executive development programs? What type of executive development programs will be conducted? Before going to the types of, before explaining this particular slide, here I want to explain some more points. What type of executive development concepts will be took place? Executive development programs like decision making skills. Now we are providing training on the decision making skills of executives, because these people should be very rational. They should be decision makers here, whether what type of decision they have to take. This decision is beneficial to my organization or not. So how to make the decisions. For decision making skills, the training programs like in-basket games, business games, case study analysis, these three are the different training programs will be given in the decision making skills. The second skill which is learned, which will be given to the executives, is interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills means most of the executives have to work with the teams. So what kind of relations they are maintaining with the teams, what kind of attitude they are showing, what are the behavioral compliances they are having. This has to be studied here in the interpersonal skills. Here we conduct different training programs like role play, sensitivity training, and behavioral modeling. And the third point of training program and the third skill is job knowledge skill will be provided to the executive development. Now, job knowledge here through providing job knowledge skill, we will conduct training like on the job training methods. Will conduct coaching will be given to them, understudy, a case study will be given, or a problem will be created and ask them to do the problem, to get a solution for the problem. Next one is organizational knowledge. The fourth point is organizational knowledge. Now, in providing organizational knowledge training session, this will be conducted through job rotation and multiple management. Job rotation means most of the executives will be asked to work 3 months at one post. After 3 months, another post will be given to them, so that they have to handle the entire organization and entire objectives, obligations, or responsibilities. They should know what is going on in the finance, what is going on in the HR, what is there in the marketing. For that reason, executives will be asked to rotate their jobs continuously. So job rotation and multiple management tasks. Not only a single task will be given, different types of tasks will be assigned to them and they will be asked to take the decisions. And next one is general knowledge. The fifth point is general knowledge. In this general knowledge training session, you will be given a special course. You will be asked to learn the special course, like for example, some special languages like Japanese or else Korean language or something, a new Russian language will be asked to learn. A special course like artificial intelligence or Python or Java, something new will be asked to you to learn. And a specific reading, some books will be suggested to the executives to read. And next, special meetings will be conducted, and in those meetings they will be asked to talk, to deliver, to give a speech. And the sixth point is specific individual necessities. So specific individual necessities and specific individual requirements will be gathered here. Here this is done through a training program like special projects, special committee assignments. Committees will be given to them, special assignments will be given to them. So my dear students, these are the 6 points where it comes under the executive development programs to the employees. Now we'll all come to the last part of the session, that is the types of training. What are the different types of training? We have two different types of training, on the job training and off the job training. This is a special question, this is a separate question where you will be asked. So till now whatever I have explained, this is another question. Again, a separate question will be asked from this concept also. Now, the first one is on the job training. As the name itself suggests that whatever the training, whatever the knowledge acquired to you while performing a job, while doing a job is called as on the job training. It refers to a new or inexperienced employees learning through observing peers or managers performing the job and trying to imitate their behavior. So, you will be asked to stand before a supervisor and you will be asked to observe him. You are going to continuously observing him, what he is doing, how he is performing. So it is just by observing you are learning something. That is the reason it is called as on the job training. What are the methods of on the job training? The methods are coaching, mentoring, job rotation, job instruction technique. So these are the methods of on the job training. Now first we'll move to the coaching. Coaching is very simple. Coaching, even a cricketer will have to get a coach. PV Sindhu, she is getting the coaching. So coaching means continuously monitoring you, continuously telling you how to perform, how to kick a shot, how to do a thing. It is one-to-one interaction considered as corrective measure for inadequate performance, helps in identifying weaknesses and focuses on areas which needs. So I can say, rather than focusing on these slides, you can able to read all these slides. I'll just say coaching is a daily training and getting the feedback from the employees. And it is an immediate supervision by the supervisor. It is a continuous process of learning by doing. So through coaching, you are learning as well as you are doing. At the same time, it is an informal, unplanned task. It is an informal task. You are playing you are playing a shot. You are playing a cricket. You are playing a shot. Your coach observes you just to see you. What is the wrong things you are doing? So immediately, whenever you did a wrong, he just interferes and he explains. It's like an unplanned one. It is a development provided by the supervisors to the employees. The second one is mentoring. It is a relationship where senior managers assumes the responsibility for grooming a junior person or a junior employee. So it is like mentoring. Mentoring is done by the done by someone inside the company. Generally, the supervisor. The supervisor will will observe and he groom the junior employees. This grooming can be done technically, interpersonally, and political grooming. That means technical, interpersonal, political skills will be assigned, will be learned through mentoring. And these skills, a kind of relationship will be developed through mentoring. In the process of mentoring, a kind of a good relationship will be generated, will be maintained in between the employee and the employer or the supervisor. A mentor may be a teacher, a spouse, or a counselor who just focuses on the development of the skills. Next one is the third point is not mentioned here in this slide. I will explain that the 2 points have been missed in this slide. One is job instruction training. Job instruction training, coming to job instruction training, see here in the methods of training, I have mentioned coaching, mentoring, job rotation, job instruction. Now these two are missing in the slide. So I'll just explain what are those. Now coming to job instruction training, it is developed, this job instruction training, this is also known as JIT. This was developed during World War II. Now, what exactly the meaning of job instruction training? It has a four-step process. Job instruction technique is a four-step process. One is preparation. Preparation of what are the preparing a schedule. What jobs have to be instructed. How to give the instructions. Say, for example, how we prepare the instruction class. How we prepare the teaching plan. In the same way, what type of jobs have to be instructed. That has to be prepared. No presentation. The supervisor presents how to do, how to perform like that. The next one is performance tryout. After instructions being given, after presentation being done, the employee will be asked to try out, to have a trial, to have a job trial, so that he understood, he came to know what are the weaknesses of performing, what are the failures, where the failure done, where the mistake has been conducted or occurred. This can be studied. And next, follow-up. Follow-up action will be done by the mentor or means the supervisor. Okay, that is called a job instruction training. The next one is job rotation. Job rotation, as the name in itself says, you are rotating within the organization. That is movement of employees, movement of trainees from one place to another, from one job to another. So in the probation period itself, you will be asked to learn the different positions or the different responsibilities. So the trainees will be moved, will be rotated from one place to another, from one post to another, so that they can learn the new things also. This helps in understanding how the organization functions. So obviously when you're rotating to different positions, to different duties, so you came to understand that how organization is performing, how organization is performing. It is the it provide a kind of larger, it provide trainers with a larger organization perspective. So larger organizational perspective means, in the sense, you are thinking that our organization is a bigger one, it has various responsibilities, thousands of operations. So it is going to think in a larger perspective, in a comprehensive way about the organization. So it is a kind of a better source of instructing the career objectives of the employees. So these are the methods I have explained now: coaching, mentoring, and everything. Now coming to the advantages. So it is a cost effective, more cost effective. Why? Because while doing the job you are learning, and the supervisors and the executives of the within the company are going to explain, and it is a less disruptive, and you are doing, you are learning, you are performing the job also. So these are the benefits. Direct experience will be there. It is productive also. Now coming to the off the job training methods. What is off the job? So on the job training methods we have completed. Now off the job training methods is, as the name suggests, you are not at the position of the organization, you are not in the organization, you are outside the organization. You will be asked to somewhere come and sit there and learn things. Trainees separated from the job environment take place at training agency or local colleges. So see, for example, Infosys, it has a training college at Mysore. In the same way, Wipro will also have a training college. Even the government, APSSDC, is offering training programs to the students as well as to the employees. In the same way, our government is also having certain training institutes to provide. AP Genco, AP Transco, and power sector has the training colleges and training schools. So even railways will also have a training school at Hyderabad. So like that, a training college, a training school or agency will be there, where you will be asked to come there and sit there and learn. So some study materials will be given to you, and a freedom of expression will be there for you. So right, this is called as a off the job training. And types of the job methods: vestibule training, management games, role playing, films, lecture methods, outbound training. Now I'll explain what is vestibule training. Actual work conditions are simulated here. In the sense, vestibule training means like a room will be there, and duplicate machines will be there, duplicate problems will be created, and you will be asked to operate at that duplicate machines or duplicate problems. Materials, files, and equipments are used. Duration ranges from few days to a few weeks. Theory can be related to practice here also. Vestibule training will be there. Like for example, in the military, how to use the bunkers, how to use the guns, rifles will be explained through duplicate machines and duplicate instruments. Correct. Next, advantages. It becomes more reality based. It directly applies to jobs. So there are advantages. The advantages are you are learning practically. Whatever the mistakes you are doing there at that particular place itself. You are not going to apply those mistakes at the production or at the operations. Once you did the mistake at the operations, it creates some loss. But now it is like a simulation, a duplicate problem. Whatever the mistake you did, it doesn't matter anything on the productivity. Next, disadvantages: time consuming, expensive. Trainer has to be very skilled. These things you can learn. Next one is management games. To improve decision making and analytical skills, different types of management games like business games. In the business games, you are going to have in basket games, role plays, everything will be there, no? Now, in the management games, decision making and analytical skills to develop awareness of the need to make decisions lacking complete information, to develop an understanding of the interrelationships, to develop the ability to function cooperatively and effectively in a small group situation. So, management games are meant for understanding the analytical skills, the decision making skills, and understanding the team members, understanding the functions to be performed in a correct way. And what are the types of management games? Executive games. We in the see some programs being conducted on the third Saturdays, like no bag days. We have conducted certain programs, different games we have organized, where we are going to gather the data, like how they are planning, how they are taking the decisions, how good in the team, everything we have analyzed. Those are the executive games. Functional games. So functional games means in the sense marketing, HR, finance, and those functions will be assigned to them. What type of decisions they are taking, those are called as a functional games. Role playing is the method of human interaction that involves realistic behavior in imaginary situations. Role play roles will be given, like a marketing manager, HR manager, finance managers. Roles will be designed and they will be assigned to you, and you will be asked how you are performing the role. Suppose a conflict arises, a stress is there, the strike has been took place, how you are solving the strike, how you are getting rid of those strikes and the lockout positions. So you will be created certain roles and you will be asked to play those roles. Benefits of role playing: see, conflict resolutions, group decision making, developing interpersonal skills. So through role playing, you are in a team, you are playing your role, you are communicating, you are convincing, so that you learn how to take the decisions. Next, types of role play: multiple role play, single role play, role rotation, spontaneous role play. These are the different types. And films and video presentations. Next one is in this session in the Onthejob training, they just project the short films, documentaries on the organization or on the process of manufacturing or on the growth of manufacturing, and how a product will be processed through the assembly line, how a finished product will arrive. Everything will be presented through a short film, or through a kind of video will be presented, or a PPT will be given. Right. Now, these advantages is actually you are getting the detailed information about the organization. You are getting through a PPT, getting through a video. So need not necessary to go to the organization and to stop the organization and to disturb them. You are just seeing in a AC room, sitting there and observing how an assembly line will took place, how a product from a raw material to the finished product, everything you are getting there. So it is a good program. Outbound training, outdoor and action oriented programs through experiential learning. So these days most of the corporates are taking employees to the they are taking refresher courses, they are conducting, they are going to the hills, they are conducting certain programs with their families, with their children, and somewhere away from the city they are going. So outdoor and action oriented programs through experiential learning develop leadership, teamwork, and risk taking abilities, interesting as compared to classroom learning conducted by professionals who are very cooperative. So, outbound means outdoor training programs will be conducted somewhere, refresher courses will be conducted, going to the rivers, going to the valleys, going to the mountains, all these activities will be conducted there. Right? Advantages: trainees can immediately see the consequences of wrong actions. If the trainees are doing the wrong actions, the supervisor, a specialist programmer, will be there. He will tell you what are the wrongs, what are the wrong things done by the particular people, and rectified there itself. Thinking and behavior will be improved. Disadvantages: obviously it is a cost element is there, and work time has to be allotted, a separate time has to be allotted, and participants should show the interest also. Next one is the lecture method. Lecture is a traditional direct. What we use is a lecture method. It is like a one way interaction, and it is a verbal presentation of information by a person to the employees. It's a seminar will be there, a kind of group discussion will be there, and here the lecturer motivates the employees and creates interest among the trainees. And here, advantages, coming to advantages: less time required for preparation. It provides lots of information quickly. Lots of information will be passed away, and cost is also will be reduced. Disadvantages: does not involve trainees too. So see what happened. We are giving lectures. We are taking the classes. Now itself this video class is also like that. I'm going on explaining how far you have been involving, how far you have been concentrating. It's like a question mark. In the same way, the training, from the part of the training will also be done like that. Trainees may forget the teaching. See, in the lecture method, what happened? We are going on explaining. You are going to listen only a few only. A few points will be retained in our mind. So you forget easily. Few other methods like in basket exercise. I just explained in the executive development program. In basket. So in a basket, all the things will be put into a basket, like a pen, papers, files, everything. All the materials will be put into the paper in a basket, and you will be asked to ascertain. You will be asked to kept in an order. This is called as in basket method. Experiential exercises. Experiential exercises in the sense to create a situation will be created, a problem will be created, and you have been asked to solve the problem. You have been asked to solve a conflict. That is called as experiential learning. Case method. Case method means case studies will be given. Present an in-depth description of a particular problem. A case will be given, and an employee will be asked to give an in-depth solution to the particular problem. Right. Now our MBA study program will also be through a case study program. The case studies about absenteeism, the case study about selection, the case study about performance appraisal, or the case study about attrition or exit interviews. In detail depth analysis is required for a case study. And advantages of off-the-job methods. And here, off-the-job method, through off-the-job method, the process is out of the organization. You have been provided some specialist trainers will be there. They are going to, they are learning you, they are training you. They have rich experience of training you. So obviously, you are learning from the specialist, and it is easily done in groups also. You can divide the groups, you can make the teams, because they are away from the organization, they are at one room. You can do anything, you can do any kind of new things with them, right? And they respond better while they have been taken out of the organization and from the working environment, and they be able to obtain many qualifications. What are the disadvantages? Obviously, first disadvantage is a costly affair. Obviously, the second disadvantage is the supervisor or the specialist person should have the proper knowledge and skills, and much time should be given. Much time, and at the same time, if the trainer possesses bad habits, they also be acquired by the trainees also. So my dear students, with this, I have completed the total training and development concept, whereby we are getting different types of questions, like executive development program, a question on executive development programs, a question on training methods, a question will be asked, maybe asked on the need assessment of the training. So overall, the total concept is this: training and development of employees. So with this, I'm closing the session. Thank you very much.